Most of the top free agent running backs are off the board. Joe Mixon is still on the Bengals roster, and that $12.7 million cap hit is very, very real. Let's discuss Joe Mixon's future, the Bengals' options at running back, and what Germaine Pratt said about a top back in this year's draft class. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, check out everything that we've had from Orlando Brown to Nick Scott to, well, waiting to see if the Bengals address tight end or running back. And this is strictly a running back video because a lot of the top free agent running backs or the guys that you thought could potentially replace Samaje Perine, they've been scooped up. Perine is a guy the Bengals valued. They tried to keep him, and he went to Denver. All right. And then you lose Jamal Williams to the Saints. They didn't want to pay what Williams got. And so it was like, oh, well, maybe they go after a Devin Singletary, maybe a guy like Damian Harris, two AFC East backs. Those guys, they can land one of them. Well, they didn't. And so that's led to, especially on social media, plenty of conversation about Joe Mixon and whether or not they should keep him, whether or not they should renegotiate with him, all of those things. And I'm strictly talking right now about $12.7 million and having that type of cap hit for a running back in Joe Mixon that the Bengals simply don't trust with the game on the line. We saw it in Super Bowl 56. We've seen it in crunch time, whether it was the AFC Championship game this past year against the Chiefs, we've seen it. And so if that's the case, I cannot say he's worth a $12.7 million cap hit. I can't. I just resource allocation. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I get it. I think Joe Mixon's a good player. I really like Joe. I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with Joe. But you see those numbers and it's like, oh, okay. So that led to me tweeting that Bijan Robinson at 28, the Texas running back, or Jahmyr Gibbs, the Alabama running back, either guy would be better value than what the Bengals are currently getting in that running back room with Joe Mixon set to have a $12.7 million cap hit. And, well, it started some debate for sure in the first round running back debate and all of those things, but Germaine Pratt chimed in. And I think it's quite interesting. It's only 3 words. Gibbs is crazy. And you could take it a bunch of different ways. I'm going to check just to make sure that let's see here. He has not responded again. I just wanted to make sure he has not responded again. But as you can see in the tweet, Gibbs is crazy. And to me, I look at it, and this is a guy that had 909 receiving yards over the past 2 seasons, 79 receptions. It was able to be just this dynamic back, both as a runner and a pass catcher. No one knows how difficult that is, how much stress that puts on a defense better than Germaine Pratt. Having to guard a dynamic back out of the backfield, having to deal with a guy who's a home run threat anytime he touches the ball, whether it's catching the ball, whether it's running the ball. And so he ran for over 1,600 yards the past 2 years, has a bunch of touchdowns, is electric. Ran a 4.36 40 at the combine, all of those things. The Bengals met with him at the combine. So I just think it's interesting. That's all, that Germaine Pratt decided to chime in on one of these top running backs in the class. And who knows, would the Bengals take him at 28? Would they trade down and take him? I'm not sure. Maybe they would take him at 28. Maybe they like him that much. All I know is that they have to tweak things in this running back room. And if you don't trust Joe Mixon on 3rd downs with the game on the line or to pass block with the game on the line, where there are a lot of guys that can run the ball. There are a lot of rookies in this class. There are a lot of veterans still available that can just run the ball. Leonard Fournette can run the ball for you. You might not trust him as a pass blocker, but he can run and catch checkdowns. And that's the part of it where it's a value thing. And whether it's a Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt has the off the field, but is certainly the top talent still available. I don't know if they would go after him. Doesn't really seem like a culture fit in general, but what am I, who am I to say what's what there? But running back needs to be addressed. And you could land for a $12.7 million cap hit. And I get it. There's $5 million in dead money, and I'm not going to bore you with the cap stuff, but you would only save $7+ million if you cut Joe today. Fine. Then have him take a pay cut. Have him take a pay cut. If he's willing to do that, then you can take that extra cap money that you save and put it towards Foster Moreau, or take that extra cap money and put it towards extensions. Or you could wait till June 1 and do a post June 1 release and save over $10 million in cap space. There's a lot of ways to do it. And like I said, I like Joe, and I think that there is a path for him to return, which would be fun. Captain on the team, leader, brings the energy, all of those things. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a real discussion about Joe Mixon. And 12.7 million, you can't do it. You can't seriously look at the 2023 Bengals and say that's the best way. That's the best way to allocate resources in their quest for a Super Bowl. That's it. And I do think it's interesting that a player on defense, of course, and someone on Germaine Pratt who tweets a lot, but did just happen to mention Gibbs being crazy. And he would certainly give them a different dynamic, no doubt about it. More of an explosive home run threat. By the way, a 1-2 punch of Gibbs and Mixon, that's fun. I'm fine with that. If Mixon's willing to take a pay cut, you never know. Maybe he's willing to do it. We'll see. But I just had to give you some thoughts on the running back situation, because to me, yeah, the free agency options, they're getting thinner. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott, by the way, great pass blocker. Maybe he's willing to take a 1-year cheap deal. All right. Well, can he be your P-Ryan replacement? He could. A lot of guys can run the ball. And that's what Mixon does. Runs the ball, catches the ball. All right, well, Leonard Fournette did that in Tampa. If you can't pass block, if you can't be in on a pass-first team and be on the field with the game on the line, I give you 12.7 million reasons why something has to change, whether it's a pay cut or because restructure doesn't really work with his contract. A pay cut, release, draft a rookie, all of those things certainly in play. And we'll see what happens, but just wanted to give you some thoughts on that. Shout out to Germaine Pratt for tweeting. Congrats on the deal, my man. And for Andrew Fox-Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now. And remember, when news happens, we're going to have you covered right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.